Bitch, you guessed it. Hey, Shanti Tag. Oh my god, love to the bitch squad. P.S. Disclaimer. I cuss like a sailor. You're welcome. If it's not a match for you, I totally get it. Okay, bye for everyone else. Welcome. Hi. Okay, so it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Or is it? What? All right, so let's go over a couple of key points. So stay to the end. I mean, it's only 11 minutes, hey now, of what I actually mean by, it's not your fault. But is it? What is that? What does that mean? Okay, so when shit hits the fan, lately we've been talking about relationships, and honey, I get it. I have been in my fair share of both amazing and then not so amazing relationships. And then we've also been talking about shit hitting the fan just kind of in general, whether in or not in a relationship. And honey, I get it. I've been there. I'm still there. It's still happening. Disclaimer, if you're in a human form, that shit's not gonna stop. But we don't want it to. And that's what I mean by, or is it? It's not your fault. Or is it? We came here, we incarnated into this life experience to experience all there is to experience. Cheers! Today at the hydration session, we have H2O, some reverse osmosis. Cheers. Okay, what the whistle? All right, so if for those of us that might be on the planet, and that might be you, and if it's you, that's okay, because it's also been me at some point where I am just like in victim mode. Maybe you're in victim mode, and what I mean by that is like I feel like life's happening to me. I'm getting bombarded with stuff, and it feels like it's out of my control. I am the center point of attraction to the shit. Whatever, right? Like, oh my God, how did I get here? Everything bad always happens to me. Here we go. It's too good to be true. Okay. Yeah, does that sound familiar to any of us? I mean, I've been there for sure. Please, motherfucking believe. Okay, but that's a sleeper state. Yeah, that's a sleeper state. And some of us are in lifetimes where we're here to kind of be in that sleeper state. Not all of us are in a current incarnation where we are meant to wake up, right? You could call it wake up from the matrix, blah, 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 blah. Not all of us are here to get our Sarah Connor on, if you know what I mean. But shoot. No. Yeah, dude, it's really not your fault when shit is hitting the fan. But we do need to take accountability and we've talked about that so much, and we're gonna continue to talk about it because it's not only is it important, but it's fucking beautiful. When you can see behind the curtain, beyond the veil, within the orchestration that you yourself chose prior to coming down on this particular planet in this fucking avatar. Dude, it's so good. And so when we say, oh my God, it's not your fault, at some point when we're like in this kind of spiritual awakening process, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, we get to go like, oh my God, it is my fault. Or like, I did that, right? We'll call it that. Like, I did that. I made that. Oh my God, I called that in. Oh, yeah, that tracks. That tracks. And instead of going into like this depths of despair moment, which we previously might have done when we're like, oh my God, life's happening to me. I'm just bombarded. I'm the victim, blah, 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 blah. Why me? Woe is me, whatever, right? We get to go like, oh, that was fucking weird. That sucks. But I fucking see how I created it. Okay, and we can take ownership and accountability, and then we can take ownership and accountability. Then we can start to go like, okay, well, what was the 1, 2, 3 that kind of led up to this, and how can I shift that 1, 2, 3 in a way where I call something else in, something more desirable, something, now I was going to say more of a match, but everything's always going to be a match to where you are. So how can I change the frequency from which I'm attracting from in order to become the match center point of what it is that I desire? Okay. And a really great way to start doing that, because honey, it's not your fault, is look for the next best thing. Like, let's say you're in a moment of funk, which I totally get, please believe. How can you reach for the next best thing to focus on? And that could literally be like, look out the window, there's a fucking tree. Look at my skin, I'm in a body. I am breathing. I like pizza. There's my cat. Like whatever. What's the next best thing? That's what we're shooting for. Is like, what's the next best thing that I can focus on to then shift that 1, 2, 3 point of attraction that I'm vibrating from. So then my circumstance shifts in accordance to my deliberate shift in focus. So then I'm calling in like the yes and the and even if I'm not calling in the yes and it's kind of like, oh God, well, I changed the 1 and the 3, but I fucked up on 2, right? But the way that's still enjoyable. You still get to go like, well, I see that. And then you learn and you take accountability and then you fucking own that ship. And when you're owning that ship, did I say ship? The shit ship is ready for liftoff. We thought it was in the water, but it's really going up in the sky. What am I even talking about? I don't know. P.S. Side note, sweat mustache. Do you see it? It's 1,000 degrees in here. Can I just do like a quick side tangent? How gorgeous I am now. I'm like giving myself a massage. P.S. More videos to come on that, because I love, as a yogi, okay, and a teacher, a yogini and a teacher of Kundalini science and technology, I love getting into kind of like these longevity, fountain of youth teachings, but also just like, this could be a moment of the next best thing, right? Like I can, if you have 2 functioning hands, hang on, that's what she said, and you can just like massage your fucking face and have a moment where you're just like, oh my God, this is kind of like a little bit of like a waking lucid dreaming technique where you're just like, I'm just gonna be here in this moment. And I'm going to touch my face, I'm going to touch my neck, I'm going to get it into the lymph. And if you were actually, yes, side note tangent, please believe, whatever. And one of the lucid dreaming techniques I like, that's really beneficial for me, is the 3-second trick, which is once I'm aware that I'm dreaming, I look at the tops of my hands in my dream for 3 seconds. I count 1, 2, 3, and then I flip and I look at the palms of my hands for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and then I start taking in my surroundings within the dreamscape, no longer than 3 seconds at any given point of focus. And I really like using lucid dreaming techniques in the waking experience because of that 3-second mark. That's really such a great beginner threshold to hold a deliberate point of focus. And again, if you're in a moment of like, oh my God, it's all my fault. Honey, it's not your fault. We're just changing the 1, 2, 3. So focus on some motherfucking shit that's a little bit better than the rest. Okay? And then you just take the next best thing, the fucking pizza, the pasta, the cat, the tree, the pizza, the pasta, the cat, the tree, and you just count to 3. Pizza, 1, 2, 3. Cat, 1, 2, 3. Tree, 1, 2, 3. And so you don't have to count out loud, although you can, right? But you just focus for a count of 3, and then we can kind of like gradually elongate, that's what she said, that particular point of focus from 3 seconds to, 17 seconds. Okay. That's what we can shoot for. But so does this make sense? Because it's not your fault, but it is. But we just get rid of the fault, and then we bring in the ownership. This is yours. This is yours to craft. This is the clay of life. You get to mold the experience. You get to command. You are the center point, the main character, the producer, the writer, all of it on your stage. You call the shots. So I hope this is helpful. I love that. I love that lucid dreaming technique and that 3. Then I'm gonna change the 1, 2, 3. How you can have however many fucking steps you want. But then you use that 3-second rule to kind of grab the next best thing as a point of focus for that 3 seconds as your beginner threshold. And then you start to really shift the vibrational frequency, that foundation from which you're attracting your shit from. Okay? So, mad love to the bitch squad. P.S. It's okay.